roll. Good morning. Today is July 23rd, 2020 at 9 a.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. My name is Helen Stokes. I'm a construction purchasing agent for the school district of Palm Beach County, and I'm being assisted by our documents analyst, Patricia Maroney. This selection committee meeting is being held virtually via Google Meet technology, is being broadcast live and recorded. The purpose of today's meeting is to select the top-ranking proposer to be awarded a construction management at risk contract for Sunset Palms Middle School 17 PP. We have our committee members and presenting firms joining us via Meet and our public attending via the various methods available on the district's public information website. Should we encounter technical difficulties at any time during our meeting, we will need to recess until those issues are resolved. Committee members and presenting firms, please do not leave the Google Meet. Public comments will be invited after presentations have concluded and before the committee commences to complete the final scoring process. Following completion of the presentations, a dedicated phone line will be opened for a 5-minute window for the public to offer comments relative to the content of the presentations. Virtual meeting reminders. A few reminders of proper etiquette before we begin. Please keep your microphones muted, and when not speaking, be mindful of background noises. Also, remember you and your background are visible. Video, voice, and chat comments are being recorded. Committee members, please use the chat box on your screen and be mindful, the chat box on your screen to communicate with Pat for technology problems, any other issues that may be handled without interrupting the meeting. Let us begin by introducing our committee members. I'm going to begin alphabetically by the last name. I'd like to start with Frank, please, if you'd introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Frank Arancibia. I'm a facility coordinator. I work for the Palm Beach County School District.
Thank you. Glenn, please.
Hi, I'm Glenn Armbruster with Facilities Construction SPA.
Thank you. John, please.
Good morning. I'm John Cheshire. I'm the court representative on the committee.
Thank you, John. Patrick, please.
Good morning. My name is Patrick with the Office of Diversity.
Thank you. Aaron, please.
Good morning. My name is Aaron Howard, Facilities Construction, SPA.
Thank you. Mark, please.
Good morning. My name is Mark Lodge. I work for Building Code Services for the district as a mechanical engineer.
Thank you very much. I'd like to announce that we have a quorum of members present. Next, we'll record attendance of our first firm presenting, Hedrick Brothers Construction. Please identify yourself by full name, beginning with Brett Strassel.
Good morning. My name is Brett Strassel with Hedrick Brothers.
Good morning. My name is Sean Burney with Hedrick Brothers.
You want to introduce the rest?
Now, we have other members in the adjoining room who will be available for the Q&A. May I introduce them?
Yes, please.
We have Eric Himmel, our president, Jack Ulrich, our vice president, and Tony Mish, our dedicated project manager for the project.
And I'm Lynn Mims, president of Mims Construction and SPE partner.
Thank you. Instructions to the committee. The purpose of this meeting is to select the top ranking firm to be recommended to the board for an award. Final point awards should not be completed until the close of the discussion period and the public comments have been offered. Committee members should consider the discussion and responses from proposers to the questions raised by the evaluation committee and may consider public comments as appropriate. Committee members should identify the distinctions between the information presented by each proposer in order to differentiate their point awards to the proposer to avoid identical point awards and ties in ranking order whenever possible. Committee members, should you have a question for a proposer, please direct your question to them as the appropriate member may respond. Instructions to proposers. You have 20 minutes this morning for your presentation. I'll let you know when you're down to your last 2 minutes. At that time, we'll conclude your presentation and open the floor up to 20 minutes of questions and answers. I'll begin with Frank and work through the committee alphabetically. If a committee member has a question for you, they will direct it to one of your team members. Please make your answer to their questions brief to allow committee members the opportunity to ask more than one question as time permits. Also, please remember this is not a marketing opportunity for your company. Please state your name before replying to the question. Are there any questions? Again?
No, we're good.
Okay, you may begin.
Well,
No. But Helen, can you stop the timer until we get loaded here?
Yeah, this one.
Yes, that one. Share this tab. Share this tab.
Helen, at this point, are you able to see our presentation?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Can you restart the timer, please?
Please begin.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you for having us present on Sunset Palms Middle School. My name is Brent Strassel. I'm the Vice President and Project Executive for the project. To my right is Sean Burney, our Director of Pre-Construction Services. In our adjacent room is Eric Himmel, our President, Jack Ulrich, our Vice President, and Tony Misch, the Dedicated Project Manager. Also on video today is Ms. Lindell Mims from Mims Construction, our SBE partner. Now, while we've worked together with the school district for nearly 3 decades, this is obviously a new format for us. So we will abide by the district's guidelines and have the 2-person live virtual format with all parties available for the question and answer period. Now, at this point, many people have worked together with Hedrick Brothers, but I would like to spend a moment and talk a little bit about who we are and what we've accomplished.
People come to us because they trust us. They know that we're going to give them a quality product. They know that we will meet difficult schedules. And they know that we're going to build things that are sustainable and add value for the long term. I've been asked, is this the best team you got? And I got to say, yeah, they're a good team, but we got a bunch of good teams.
now on your screen is our pre-construction team, headed up by Jack Ulrich. One of the things we want to point out with here is that we have Tony Mish, myself, and Jack. Jack is 75% committed to this project. And the three of us will be on it from the very beginning all the way through into construction, making sure that all the knowledge gained in pre-construction isn't lost once we move into construction. So now we're going to talk a little bit about pre-construction. And who better to talk about pre-construction for Hedrick Brothers and how Hedrick Brothers does pre-construction than Jack Ulrich.
Pre-construction consists of three major components. The first component is reviewing the owner's program, the budget, the schedule, so that we all understand with the team, the architect, the owner, all the disciplines, all the design professionals, as to what it is we're setting out to accomplish. After we get that groundwork laid, the schedule prepared for everyone to buy into so we know where we're going, how we're going to get there, when we're going to get there, we then go into a series of estimates, usually starting with a schematic level estimate and moving on to more information in the design development estimates, and then getting into the construction document estimates, usually ending up with a guaranteed maximum price. We need to review everything that's going to be in the project, make informed decisions, and get to a successful completion. We have never, ever failed to have a successful pre-construction exercise resulting in an acceptable GMP within the design budget and time.
Turkey Valley Design and real-time estimating and continual estimating, they really go hand in glove. And we see a lot of value in that because what we're doing is we're essentially building the project in our minds while the design is occurring. We do this in real time and it provides value.
So our goal in pre-construction is to create a predictable project. And how we do that is by utilizing our virtual design and construction departments. We truly believe there's a direct correlation with how successful the project's going to be and how much you invest in your pre-construction. And VDC is truly just one more component, one more thing you can do in pre-construction to ensure you have that predictable project.
So all the services that you see here are being done in-house here in Palm Beach County.
Pre-construction, we would be participating in a peer review, or what we like to call a constructability review. We'll be working with the Hedrick team, especially their BIM or virtual team, with trade contractors that we did not work with before. We'd have a kickoff meetings, and then during the construction portion, we would do things such as window testing, water testing all the windows. We'd go through the plans and specifications, make sure that we understood that everything that translates from the construction documents is implemented in the field.
In the pre-construction efforts, nobody wants to have less than a successful guaranteed maximum price. So we're very diligent to make sure that every step is followed. So it's a secret sauce that we follow over and over and over again. And it's proven to make Hedrick Brothers very successful in the pre-construction market and the construction management industry.
All right, now we're going to talk a little about our SBE process. Hedrick Brothers is currently teamed up with MIMS Construction and Roebling, and we're 100% committed to exceeding your SBE goals.
The value of SBEs is part of our culture. The last 20 projects that we've done, we have had a 38% participation rate. But that's not just on those that we're recording. We're doing it on all our projects. We have 20 or 30 projects going on at any one time, and we are using SBEs on all our projects, regardless of whether it's required or not. It makes for a successful project.
I've been a part of Palm Beach County for the last 20 years. Minority contractors, SBE contractors know me. Palm Beach School District know me. I am committed to this project. I will be an integral part of this committee. I will be Hedrick Brothers and our team liaison to work within the community to ensure that we meet and maximize our participation.
On this project, I'll be working closely with Lynn to ensure that our SBE participation is met. We're utilizing Building Connected as our database for advertising bids, along with pre-qualifying bids. So on the same guise of trying to make things easy for subcontractors, we've implemented a subcontractor default insurance program in lieu of getting sub bonds. And this is a great process for our subcontractors because it allows them to actually go through when they get pre-qualified for us. They get to the end of part of that program, and they actually don't have to provide a bond on it. So they're actually able to chase more jobs, more public jobs, by being able to work with us.
Let's talk a little bit about some site-specific issues and logistic issues as it relates to our location and our site. At the onset of every project, we immediately develop a plan, a safe plan. Our trailing indicators to show how safe we've been over our history is our EMR. We have the lowest in the industry at 0.56, with 1.00 being sort of the industry standard. So our trailing indicator gives you a assurance of our safe record. Now, our leading indicators are going through the project, going through logistics, understanding all the OSHA guidelines, understanding the various regulatory guidelines from Alyssa's Law to the Jessica Lunsford Act to the requirements of double barricades, double fencing. And on this project, we talked to a lot of people. We talked to faculty, we talked to parents, we talked to the PTO. And what we really heard about this was the concern for an active elementary school to the north, Sunset Palms Elementary School, and the amount of traffic to the east on Acme Dairy Road. We were told that under no circumstances should we have construction traffic on Acme Dairy Road. So to the south of our proposed site is a road. It's called two different names. It's called the Connector Road and it's called the Bruzo, depending on which map we look at. But what we've done is a single point of entry and a single point of egress, with all traffic exiting the project heading west towards Lyons Road, therefore delineating our construction entrances and exits with that of the existing elementary school, so they're separated at all times. Now, as we continue to roll the video, the other thing that was very important to us was to keep the traffic off of the Connector Road at all times. So one of the things that we've done is the video rolls you'll continue to see now through the cursor. We've developed a loop inside of our job site, and the loop allows all traffic to come off of the Connector Road immediately and be able to stack inside of our gate. Now that's for construction traffic, materials, construction parking, as well as now our COVID check-in station. We wanted to separate, obviously, our entrance from the existing school as far as possible so that our COVID check-in for temperature, health and wellness of workers and check-in is far apart and separated as possible. Now, as the video continues to go, we'll like to point out again our egress onto the connector heading due west, and that's a one-way exit. So all traffic leaving our site never commingles with that to the east on Acme Dairy Road. Now, as we talked about COVID is something that has come up obviously recently. It hasn't been part of any other presentation, hasn't been part of any construction site we've had in the past. But these are things that we have to adapt to. I'd like Tony Mish to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about how we adapt to a lot of different things on a construction site.
One of the most important stages on any school project is pre-construction. It's vital that the CM works closely with the design team and their engineers to ensure the specifications and drawings meet the owner's expectations. There's been recent renovations in materials that the school district has incorporated into their projects, anywhere from LED lighting to compression fittings on water lines to upgrades and changes in electronics, AVT, and systems to machineless room elevators. All these components are on a constant change, and it's vital that we stay on top of everything. We look to stick to the plan. In my 20-plus years of building schools, not only in Palm Beach County, but Dade and Broward, I have never gone over a school district budget, and I've always gotten the school open on time. A lot of these projects are multi-million-dollar investments that require a lot of maintenance, and it's our goal to make these buildings sustainable for the future of the kids and for the school district so that their operating expenses are lowered and that they're not faced with an exorbitant amount of cost through the lifespan of the project. Window testing is a given on any school project. I think it's a great test component to the school to ensure that we have a building envelope that stays dry. I take these projects very personal. I look at it as, may sound corny, but I look at the 900 kids that are coming next August as my own. But I always see the goal at the end, and I enjoy actually showing up on opening day when the kids come to the school and be able to see their faces and how excited they are to have a brand new school that they're going to be able to use and learn.
Now, there has always been a great partnership on construction projects, and that is the relationship of the project manager and the superintendent. Let's take a quick moment to describe a day in the life of a Hedrick Brothers superintendent.
Day in the life of a superintendent. While most of us strive to reach 10,000 steps a day, superintendents on a large Hedrick Brothers construction project average 25,000 steps. Yes, 25,000 steps a day. A superintendent's day begins at dawn. As the first person to arrive, they walk the entire job site, checking safety features and ensuring that the site is ready for work. The gates open. Tradesmen arrive and check in, following CDC and OSHA guidelines. Daily safety and site meetings occur, and then they're off to work. The super is the driving force of a project, responsible for keeping the schedule moving. Every day brings its own set of challenges, and he or she must be responsive, creative, and ingenious. They can swing a hammer if they need to, but their responsibility is to manage all the trades. We build with quality, as if we were the owner, and stand behind our work 100%. The super uses a rolling punch list from the onset of the project with the goal of 0 items upon completion. The most important aspect of any project is safety. It starts at the beginning and never ends. Our teams are OSHA certified and receive continuous training. We are builders and are committed to safety first and foremost. Let's finish up those 25,000 steps. From dawn to dusk, in the sweltering sun and driving rain, the superintendent is the lifeblood of the project. Hedrick Brothers Construction has a full team of superintendents, all with different backgrounds and experiences. Each and every one is well qualified, well trained, and committed to the safety and quality of the project. We are builders, and we're ready to deliver your next project.
All right, so the next key component to a successful job are subcontractors. And as we talked about previously, we pre-qualify all of our subcontractors, and we have plenty of SBE, MBE, WE subcontractors that are willing and able to join this project. So when we bring a subcontractor on board, our goal is to make sure that they're going to be successful. So we create very clear, concise scopes. We create bid packages that allow multiple subcontractors to be participating on the job. And we sit them down and review with all of our subcontractors to make sure they have a full understanding of the schedule, material availability, workforce requirements, payment requirements, so that they understand how they're going to be successful, and we set everyone up for a very successful project. So now to the fun stuff. How much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take? So in this time where we were waiting for the interview to start, our estimating team dove deep into this project. So we looked over all the project requirements. We partnered with some trusted subcontractors, material suppliers, utilized our historical data, and created a very detailed estimate that we'd be happy to provide for you upon selection. So we can sit here confidently able to tell you that we're going to be able to come in under your $33 million budget and provide you this project at a total student station of $22,594.23. So how long is it going to take? Of course, we're comfortable with this new extended schedule, be able to deliver this project for you on 7/10/2023. What we're most excited about is this additional time here. We're really going to be able to utilize a lot of our pre-construction services being able to utilize a lot of those tools to ensure that we're creating that predictable project, ensure we're able to solve all those issues up front and really get off on the right foot and make a very successful project for us.
If we have learned nothing else during these uncertain times, we've understood and learned the importance of community, neighborhood, of local, of helping one another. Hedrick Brothers is the epitome of local. Founded right here in West Palm Beach, 41 years continuous operation to today, with a 30-year relationship, a 3-decade relationship with the school district. So why Hedrick Brothers? Our safety record speaks for itself. We feel comfortable and confident that we can meet your budget, exceed your schedule. We have a great team put together. As Dale had said in one of the prior videos, we have many good teams, but this is an exceptional team. We have a great pre-construction staff led by Jack Ulrich, all the VDC technology to put this job together and successfully deliver it for you. And not only are we local, we're your only local contractor. And I'm here to tell you today that we are ready and we want this job.
Thank you very much. Now we'll open
We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
We're ready. We're ready. We want this job.
We want this job.
We want this job.
We want this job. We want
Thank
this
you.
job. We want this job.
We want this job.
We want this job.
We want this job.
We're ready. We want this job.
Thank you very much. We're going to open the floor to 20 minutes of questions and answers. Frank, would you like to begin?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation. Definitely it went pretty smooth. I have a mechanical question. What type of chiller equipment will be used and why? Either air cool or water cool?
Tony, would you like to answer that question?
School district prefers the air cooled.
State your name. Please state your name.
Tony Mish, Hedrick Brothers. School district prefers majority of their projects to go with air cooled chillers. That's their design standard.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Glenn, please.
So I always have the budget and the schedule questions coming to you guys. So you said that you can go under the $33 million budget, which all sounds good. My biggest thing on that is I'd like to look at your student station cost, because that's actually a driving force for us on all our schools now, and we don't want to lose any money with the state, any of the tax revenue or anything like that. So can you kind of go through a little bit of how your student station cost is going to be configured and how you're going to be able to keep it at that price?
Go ahead. So on this, we did, hopefully you can see our screen here. So we were able to put together, I'm sorry, Sean Burney, Hedrick Brothers. So myself and Jack Ulrich will be answering this one. We've anticipated a total student station of $22,594. As you can see here on the screen, we did a breakdown utilizing our historical data along with bringing in some subcontractors.
Thank you, Sean. John, please.
Yes, hello, everybody. Yes, of course, I'm very familiar with Hedrick. The one thing I'm not familiar with, Brett, is your experience as being a project exec. I've dealt with Jack in the past as a project exec. Could you tell me your experience as a project exec in any on schools?
Certainly. So I appreciate that. So I've been a project executive and vice president with Hedrick Brothers for the last 5 years. My role as a project exec starts in both pre-construction, helping to oversee budgets, helping to oversee critical items within the budget, target value enhancements, value engineering, working from that through the seamless single point of contact through construction. At that point, we take our project manager, our superintendent, we help oversee them or guide them into our site logistics, the thing that we've understood were important in the project, right through the management of the project oversight from a financial and a schedule and a quality control aspect. My experience ranges from educational facilities and oversight with universities, with schools, high schools, middle schools, elementary schools, as well as on light manufacturing and industrial projects, all right here in Palm Beach County. My experience ranges for 25 years here in the county, and the last 5 as a project exec and vice president.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you. Patrick, please.
Yes, good morning again. I know you guys, you are committed to increase the participation goal for SBE, but I do want to see more new SBE on your GMP. So what you will do to make this happen?
So Sean Bernie, Hendrick Brothers again. So currently right now we have 2 on our CM side. And then as Lynn talked previously, we have an effort, and I'm sure Lynn, you've unmuted so you can chime in here, of how we're going to make this an appealing job for our SBEs, make it an easy job so that they want to participate on this project.
I'll take it. This is Lynn Mims, the SBE partner. Patrick, what we entail doing due to COVID, that we're going to break the bid packages up in smaller bid packages, use a lot of social media and the Zoom and different Google platforms to encourage minority SBE contractors. I'll work with them to make sure that their scopes are within what we're looking for, as well as the pre-qualification. We'll be going back to the old fashioned of emails as well as faxes. So we're going to look at what we call displaced workers too. Displaced workers is a program that the state of Florida has embraced, and normally it includes contractors or people or personnel that has been impacted due to the hurricanes, but we're putting COVID in there. So we're going to work with a lot of different organizations to bring on contractors. And we know that a lot of people now are starting their own businesses that came out of being businesses. So we're going to work with your department and with Dickie Sykes to make sure that we can encourage and get a lot of these companies in. We'll look at long lead bid proposals and bid documents to make sure, and scopes to make sure that we can get people in, because if there's a concrete contractor and we're looking for work in that and it doesn't bid until January of next year, we will work with you all to make sure that we can get some of those contractors in, and even some new and emerging contractors.
All right, thank you.
Our SDI program also is a great tool that allows the encouragement of subcontractors who, maybe are stretched with their bonding capacity or aren't necessarily able to, get that bond yet. It's when we bring them in and pre-qualify them, we're able to enter them into that program. And like we said earlier, right, they're able to, go work on this project in lieu of having a bond to enter into that program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Aaron, please. Aaron Howard.
Yep, sorry, troubling with the mic and the mute. I don't have any additional questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lodge, please.
I don't have any questions. I'd just like to thank Hedrick for the excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back to my committee, please. Frank, any further questions? I can't hear you, Frank. Do you have any further questions?
Apologies, yeah. No, I do not. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Glenn, please.
Yeah, could you guys pull up your schedule slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it went by pretty quick, so I just wanted to double check it and look at it. You have your building finishing out in June of 23 and the final completion of 10/23.
That's okay.
Do you guys see any problems with holding that schedule? I know you said you didn't, but is there anything, even with the way things are going right now, do you have any problems with that as far as like suppliers and stuff like that? I know that we've had a lot of problems with stuff coming from international suppliers.
So naturally, Glenn, these are uncertain times. Our obligation at this point is to maintain a schedule, and that's through diligent procurement, looking at long lead items, pre-procuring things that we think could be an issue, looking at international versus domestic products to ensure we make a good decision with the school district, and basically limiting those liabilities. Through that methodology, we've been able to keep our projects on schedule, but it's something that's going to basically take a lot of monitoring, planning, and we think because the extended schedule, due to this delay, that gives us a little bit more time in pre-construction to identify those opportunities and make sure that we overcome any potential hazards to meeting the scheduled dates.
Thank you.
Tony Misch also has a comment to add to that, please.
One thing that the school district uses on all
louder, please.
I said louder, please. I'm sorry. One other aspect that the schools use in all their projects is the tilt wall construction. Unfortunately, that system takes a lot of pre-construction, evaluation, and engineering and design, and it would save a lot of time at the beginning of the project to put that incorporated into pre-construction as far as the design and getting the engineers and getting the drawings started and reviewed by Building Code Services instead of waiting until the clock starts and trying to get out of the ground. That should really be incorporated into pre-construction.
And that's something that will help us maintain that overall completion date, looking at those types of opportunities.
Yeah. Do you guys also plan on in your pre-construction with site utilities? And Tony knows what I'm talking about here as far as our county utility people.
We need water utilities and anybody AT&T ahead of the game to make sure that there's no delays at the end of the job.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. John, please. Further question?
Yes, I do. If you could go back to your G&P slide. I see under site work, you have a phase 1 and a phase 2, and on the schedule you had a phase 1 and a phase 2. Are they the same phasing?
Say that one more time.
Well, see, on your GMP, you have site work, and you described phase 1 and phase 2, and on your schedule slide that you just showed us, you had phase 1 is the site and phase 2 is the building. So it looks like maybe there's a difference there, but what is phase 1 and phase 2 on your site work?
Yeah, so let me slide over to this guy for you. So the way we looked at it, the phase 1 was going to be the site work associated with the buildings themselves, and then the phase 2 site work would actually then be the play fields and yes, and the parking lot there.
Okay, one other question on the GMP.
Yeah.
What is the credit demucking phase 1 for $1.3 million?
Credit demucking, remember that one, Jack?
So what we did is we looked at historical data, John, for this, and we were able to take a couple of schools, one of which historically data was Gove Elementary, to look at apples to apples. So when we did utilities and we did building pad ready, we had to take a credit for the demucking at Gove Elementary, take that out as that is not applicable on this job, but that's the best historical data for a similar site that we had, sans the demucking.
Yep.
Okay, I got it. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Patrick, any further questions?
No more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Aaron Howard, any further questions? Anything that's come to mind you'd like to ask?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mark Lodge, please.
Nothing, Helen. Thank you.
Okay, is there anything further from the committee for the firm Hedrick Brothers Construction this morning? Hedrick Brothers, any last minute things that you'd like to talk to our committee about? You have exactly 6.58 minutes left.
Well, I think that just kind of in summation, we really believe that we're a phenomenal choice for this. One thing I'd like to add to John Chesh's original question of our experience, there's great continuity within this team. Team has built schools together. If you look at the proposed superintendent, Eric Carlson, myself, Jack Ulrich, and Glenn Armbruster, all of those people worked together 21 years ago for the first time on the construction of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Elementary School. So when we talk about our history, there's individual resumes, and then there's those resumes gelling together to form teams. And we really think that's important. Tony and Jack, our proposed VP and project manager, have built schools together. There's a lot of continuity there. They're local. Our children go to these schools. We've got a 21-year history just doing these schools together. And I just wanted to expound upon John's original question as it related to experience. Other than that, we have a great experience with, there was a slide that we had on there with 8 successful projects with Renee Trusilla at Harvard Jolly. We've worked together on schools for over 3 decades. And again, that entire team, the cohesiveness and the, experience with one another really lends itself. This is not our first time through this, so we've got great experience there. And, in summation, we would like to, we never want to end a presentation without thanking you for this opportunity and to respectfully ask for your consideration and award for Sunset Palms Middle School.
Thank you very much.
Thank you kindly, Helen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'd like to ask now all the Hedrick Brothers team members, please, to disconnect from the Google Meet and join via one of the public options if desired.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. To my Miss Mims. Miss Mims, it's time to disconnect, if you wouldn't mind, and join us one of the other public meet options, please. I can't hear you, but you're still with us.
Your mic is still muted.
Pat, can you help me, please? Thank you.
She has to click.
Hi, Lindell. I think she took care of it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Helen and committee members, I am reaching out to our next firm, Thornton Construction, and they'll be joining us in a minute. So it's probably just going to be just a couple minutes of downtime. Please bear with us and do not leave the meet.
Thank you. Good morning. It's now 9:47 a.m. My name is Helen Stokes. I'm a construction purchasing agent for the school district of Palm Beach County, and I am being assisted by our documents analyst, Patricia Maroney. We will continue our selection committee meeting, which is being held virtually. Google Meet technology is being broadcast live and recorded. The purpose of today's meeting is to select the top-ranking proposer to be awarded a construction management at risk contract for Sunset Palms Middle School 17 PP. We have our committee members and presenting firms joining us via Google Meet, and our public attending via the various methods available on the district's public information website. Should we encounter technical difficulties at any time during our meeting, we will need to recess until those issues are resolved. Committee members and presenting firms, please do not leave the Google Meet. Virtual meeting reminders. A few reminders of proper virtual meeting etiquette before we begin. Please keep your microphones muted when not speaking and be mindful of background noises. Remember, you and your background are visible. Video, voice, and chat comments are being recorded. Let us begin by introducing our committee members. Frank, please.
Good morning. My name is Frank Arancibia. I'm a facility coordinator for the Palm Beach County School District.
Thank you. Glenn, please.
Hi, this is Glenn Armbruster, Facilities Construction, Senior Project Administrator.
Thank you. John, please.
Good morning. I'm John Cheshire. I'm the court representative on the committee.
Thank you. Aaron, please. Excuse me, Patrick, please.
Good morning. Patrick Kozosom with the Office of Diversity in Business Practices.
Thank you. Aaron, please.
Good morning. My name is Aaron Howard with Facilities Construction, SPA. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, please.
Good morning. My name is Mark Lodge. I work for the Palm Beach County School District Building Code Services as a mechanical engineer.
Thank you. I'd like to announce that we have a quorum of members present. Next, we'll record attendance of our second firm presenting, Thornton Construction. Please identify yourself by full name, beginning with Dago.
Good morning. My name is Dago Diaz. I'm the Executive Vice President for Thornton Construction. Our team will be presenting themselves as they go up in the presentation for the interest of time for you all to be respectful of that. And we're ready to start, whatever you like.
Okay, thank you. Instructions to committee before we begin. Should you have any questions for proposer, please direct your question to the appropriate team member by name before posing the question. Instructions to proposers. You'll have 20 minutes for your presentation. I'll let you know when you're down to your last 2 minutes. I will come on the screen and you'll see me let you know there, as well as you'll be able to hear me when you're down to your last 20 minutes.
Thank you.
At that time, we'll open up the floor to 20 minutes of questions and answers. I'll begin with Frank, and I'll work my way through the committee alphabetically. If a committee member has a question for you, they will direct it to one of your team members. Please make your answer their question brief to allow committee members an opportunity to ask more than one question as time permits. Also, please remember this is not a marketing opportunity for your company. Please state your name before replying to a question. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, ma'am. We're ready to start, whatever you like.
Thank you very much, Dago. Yes.
If I may interject, you will give them a warning when they have 2 minutes
left,
not 20 minutes left.
I apologize. You'll have a warning when you are down to your last 2 minutes. And at that time, you need to conclude your presentation and we'll work into the question and answer period. You may begin.
Can we look it up?
Please.
What's the question?
Good morning. My name is Dago Diaz. I'm the Executive Vice President for Thornton Construction. On behalf of the Thornton, Cass, and Cooper team, really want to thank you for the opportunity to allow us to present our qualifications to be considered for this project. We've set up our agenda in the same way that you will be evaluating us today. However, with one exception, approach to construction. We believe that this is the meat and potato of this project. You want to make sure that we understand how to build this project, and we'll be showing you that. So let's first start by introduction of the companies. Thornton Construction. I want to emphasize this. We are a local Palm Beach construction manager. We've been here for over 6 years in Palm Beach building. Overall, our company was founded 22 years ago. Since then, we've built over 188 educational projects. In fact, we have the most projects built of any of the companies presented to you today. We've been fortunate. We've built 11 projects for the school district, Palm Beach County, and we've delivered those projects extremely successful. Something that is extremely important. The team that we will be presenting to you today has 15 years of working together with the school district of Palm Beach County. This team does not need a learning curve as it relates with the school district. With that, I'd like to pass it over to Dave DeMay to talk to you about Cass Construction. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Dave DeMay, principal of Cass Construction Partnership. 5 years ago, Cass began the partnership with the school district of Palm Beach County through a hard bid process. We were awarded a cafeteria renovation that was successfully completed. Following that, we hard bid on another cafeteria, won that project, and delivered it. Since that time, we've been awarded 2 small CM middle school renovations. They've been delivered, and we're currently in pre-construction for 2 other small CM projects. Cass is the largest CM based in Palm Beach County. We were founded here in 2005. We're extremely responsible community partners. We give back to the community. Our 260 members have donated materials and labor at the cost of $50,000 for Dwyer High School's new entryway. We provided supplies and backpacks for the entire student body at Roosevelt Elementary School. With our partner Cooper Construction, we started the ACE mentoring program 4 years ago at Dwyer High School. We are committed to this community. We're committed to the school district. It's time to go to the next step with Sunset Palms Middle School. Please welcome Veronica Cooper.
Thank you, Dave. Cooper Construction is headquartered right here in Palm Beach County for the past 16 years. We specialize in educational projects, most recently completing Timber Trace and Watson B. Duncan for you, the district, earning high marks for our expertise in construction delivery. We've worked successfully with our partner Thornton Construction on 5 schools, both here in Palm Beach County as well as Miami-Dade, completing on time and on budget. There will be no learning curve working together on this project. For the past few years, we've served on the board for the ACE Mentor Program, which mentors Palm Beach County students in architecture, construction, and engineering. As Dave mentioned, together we've shared our knowledge and passion for this industry, and we have mentored the students to enrich their education. We're committed to giving back to the community, and today we'll demonstrate why our team, Thornton, Cass, and Cooper, is most capable and qualified to deliver for you Sunset Palms. Dago?
Thank you, Veronica. Combined, our team has completed 221 school projects, an extensive amount of experience. But what is the value of 3 CMs bring to the school district of Palm Beach County? And it's extremely important for you all to understand. First of all, 3 estimating departments for the price of 1. That means that on a busy market, these individuals will have sufficient resources to provide you detailed cost estimates. In addition to that, by combining our companies together, we have a greater local educational subcontractor pool. What does that mean? Higher competition, a greater amount of competition. And lastly, by combining the 3 companies, we are able to provide a tremendous amount of savings to the school district. Why? Because of buying power. That is a unique component that this team brings that no other team is able to provide. You're probably asking, oh, well, that's great. A tremendous amount of experience, savings, but how is that going to be managed? Well, it's going to be seamless. And the way it's going to be seamless is because it's a single point of contact. Our senior project manager Peter Supple, will be the orchestra leader for this entire project. And with that, I'd like to pass it over to Jim to talk to you about our dream team. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jim Reinhardt, project executive with CAS Construction. It was really cool to see y'all's faces again, even for a few minutes this morning. I'm really excited to talk to you about our project team we're proposing this morning, the dream team for Sunset Palms Middle School, starting with Peter Supple, senior project manager with 35 years of experience, over $600 million of educational projects, including 20 for the school district of Palm Beach County. Andres Fishborn, 22 years specializing in K through 12 work. He's worked with the school district. He's worked with Harvard Jolly. George Gwadowski, 45 years of construction experience, including over $450 million of educational work and 5 school district of Palm Beach County projects. And Mike Cervignac, 29 years working for the school district of Palm Beach County. You simply could not find a team better suited for this project. And we've worked extensively with Harvard Jolly and Renee Trusilla, your architect. We've done 21 projects with them, including 7 going on right now. So the unity of our team, including the architect partner, guarantees a seamless kickoff through to project completion. And now I'd like to turn it over to the maestro himself to talk about our approach to the project. Peter?
Good morning. George and I are going to focus on the Thornton, Cass, and Cooper approach to construction. And we've taken the time to look at all the information. What we found so far with the geotechnical report is we found that there are some soil conditions that concern us. Additionally, there's groundwater that's really, really high, within 6 inches of the surface. So it's going to be a bad choice to go with shallow spread footings, considering you could be digging very quickly in very wet soil conditions. We also don't recommend the RPS piles. The sands that we see in this geotech report are just not conducive to getting high bearing capacity. So we really do believe that the geotech's recommendation to go with vibro compaction is a good one. Now, we would have to look at demucking as well, and we've done that. So what is the most cost-effective soil stabilization for this project? Well, we find that demucking with the number of buildings and the large footprints is going to be more costly. It's going to be taking more time. And importantly, there's unknowns that you would still be dealing with. Whereas vibro compaction beats on all 3 considerations: cost, time, and less unknown factors. So what is vibro compaction, also known as vibro flotation? Well, it's quite simply, it's a ground improvement technique that densifies the in situ soils. Pretty simple process. As you can see in the diagram in the lower left, it begins by a probe that penetrates in by use of water jets. And then that vibroflow is slowly extracted. And then what happens is you compact precisely where you need to on the job site under the spread footings and the continuous footings. That obviously reduces foundation settlement. It increases the bearing capacity, and importantly, it allows the foundation sizes to be reduced. Now, the key elements is you got to have a significant water service in place, 2 inches. You not need to have vibration monitors. A crack survey of adjacent structures is critical, and you need to be monitoring the existing utilities within that vibration zone. All this is very easily accomplished on this job. And George and I have extensive, deep foundation experience with quite a few projects that involve vibro compaction. So there's not going to be any learning curve on this project. We've also looked at your budget. The RFP confirmed that the state cap is $26.6 million per student station, which gives us a maximum construction cost per the state of $38.8 million. It's all in. And of course, our construction budget is $33 million, which gives us a tight $189 per square feet. Now, we are school builders. Just within the last week, I priced a similar project, and within the last 2 months, 2 other similar projects. So we have very good current information, and we believe that the average cost for all these schools are $225 per square foot. And we've also done a detailed estimate of your project with what we've known, what we've looked at, and is available to us. And again, it's $222. That includes vibro and all construction costs. So we know that that's above the budget. So what are we going to do to get it to budget? Well, as you know, we've got extensive experience with Harvard Jolly. We're going to start by reducing the class size slightly with Harvard Jolly, but really importantly, take a close look at the circulation and the MEP spaces, make sure that they're efficiently designed. That will give us about $6 million in savings and will get us below the $33 million budget. So we have adherence to construction costs here on very similar recent projects. We've also studied the budget, and you can see that we're progressing through pre-construction, but importantly, George and I are going to build this job within 16 months. We're going to turn this school over to you in early May 2023. Now, how am I so sure? Here's recent examples of doing that with a number of schools, but most importantly, George and I have built schools together. In fact, we've built 2 middle schools, very similar construction, with your selected architect, Renee Trisella. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to my long-term partner, George Gwydowski.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning. As your superintendent for this project, I have over 45 years of construction experience and over 18 years of school construction experience. I have never turned over a school project late. I'm on time and I'm within budget on every project. And I think Peter's a little conservative with the 16 months. I think we might be able to do a little bit better than that. Let me show you how we're going to build your project. Well, we're located right now, we know the main road is Acme Dairy and Boynton Beach Boulevard. But to move on with that, I've also talked to some of the neighboring communities and also the shopping center located on there where the Publix is. And there's a lot of traffic that comes off of Acme and Boynton. So to avoid that conflict and congestion traffic, all our construction vehicles and deliveries will come off Lyons Road and Joe Abruzzo. We also mark some water lines in the blue and orange. All right, so we're clearing the site over here, and we're also helping out with safety because we know that the school bus and parent drop-off is a big concern, and safety is a concern for us. So we're going to erect an 8-foot wood fence painted white along the property line. Behind that, we'll install a 6-foot chain link fence with windscreen for dust control. We'll also add behind that a row of Jersey barriers the entire length of the project and keep it there for the duration of the job. As we move forward, we'll start doing the clearing and grubbing, and we'll utilize the hydrant on Acme Dairy for a 2-inch hydrant meter for vibro compaction and also for site water. I've also figured out we'll be working on the compound and the lay down area at the same time. All right, you can see we're using Joe Abruzzo for our thoroughbred, and also the highlighted yellow roads on the property are not only our access roads, that's also being turned over for the bus loop and the parents drop off, which was when we do the site work. As we move along with the building pads, tilt up, and the utilities, and we also started looking into the AT&T, Comcast, and the water and the sewer connections for your project. All right, moving forward, we're coming out of the ground. We're building 1 first, and we're hitting building 2 strong. Right after that, it's a tilt project. We're moving pretty quick. As we move on to buildings 3 and 5, you'll see that we're doing the interior finishes and the rough in 1 and 2. Then we're going to be moving a little further along with buildings 4, finishing the interiors of 1 and 2. We should have a good jump on 3 and 5 because I know how to push a project, working into the structures of 4. As we move forward, we'll be finishing up with the final inspections and the TCOs and the COs on 1, 2, 3, and 5, pushing into building 4 to finish your project, which gives us ample time to finish your site work and your ball fields, final lift to asphalt, parking lots, and start our demobilization off of the project and final inspections. Which brings us at that point to the completion of your project with building turnover for the commissioning of your buildings, completing all walkthroughs, turnover on all the punch out, to training your staff into your facility on site, completing our demobilization, and turning it over for May of 2023. Jim?
Thanks, George. We believe our Good Neighbor program is a huge key to the success of this project, including all the basic features that you see on the screen, as well as a project-specific Facebook page, our communication program with the Neighborhood Residents Association, COBRA. We've been in contact with them for 6 months, hearing their concerns, presenting them our plan for the project. They're very happy with our plan. They're very excited to get this project started for their community. And of course, our A-rated 5-star neighbor to the north, Sunset Palms Elementary School, will be in continuous contact with Principal Riddle there. Safety, we're very proud of our safety record. We've won multiple Diamond Step Awards, Sunshine State Safety Recognition Awards, some of the most prestigious awards in construction safety. As well, our COVID-19 project safety program is the best in the market. We've had zero transmission on any of our sites. Security, all the basic features, including background checks and perimeter fencing. We're also badging all personnel and logging them into the site every day, which is really valuable safety information. Now I'd like to turn it over to Veronica Cooper to talk about maximizing our SBE participation. Veronica?
Thank you. Our team is 100% committed to maximizing SBE and MWBE participation on Sunset Palms. And we recognize that you have a 15% minimum SBE subcontracting goal. Based on our past performance, we are confident that our team's reputation for treating firms both respectfully and fairly that will exceed these goals. During pre-construction, Cooper Construction will provide both estimating and outreach services. We will lead the team's efforts in outreach to other small and minority-owned firms, ensuring that they have access to both the project team, to the information, project documents, and early information so they may be successful bidders on this project. During construction phase, we will provide a full-time assistant superintendent. We'll be on the project throughout closeout. Here we demonstrate our team's past performance with MWBE and SBE goals and performance. You'll note on Gulfstream Elementary School, with a 20% goal, we achieved a whopping 65.5% MWBE participation. That's real, tangible results. Up next will be John.
Veronica, thank you. Good morning. I'm John Lokey, the project executive for Thornton Construction, stationed right here in our office at West Palm Beach. I wanted to give you a little narration this morning on our pre-con processes, cost control, and reporting systems. Our pre-construction process has a variety of activities from budget verification, value engineering, project schedule created by our own in-house P6 scheduler, constructability and plan reviews, to competitive bidding, resulting in a thorough and comprehensive GMP. We know that budget adherence is always important to the district. It's important to us as well. We'll continue to work with you and the architect at every stage of design documents to ensure budget adherence. Addressing a few additional criteria that set up initial budget verification, on-screen digital takeoffs, a regularly updated in-house cost database, input from our subcontractors, especially in technical trades, always evaluating and reviewing possibilities of value engineering. We obtain a minimum of 5 bids per trade using very detailed scope sheets. Bids and work scopes are verified and reconciled. And
2-minute warning.
Gotcha. And we ensure value for the district. We rely on Procore for our project management system. Not only do we provide your architect access for ease of submittal processing, but we provide the district project manager access as well. Not only does it provide efficiency, but also complete transparency. We all know that quality control begins early in the process. We've mentioned a number of criteria that make this team unique. The use of BIM technology to assist in class detection. Again, we have an in-house BIM designer as part of the service that we provide. An example of the way we've enhanced our constructability review process is outsourcing this to EFCA, who specializes in educational code compliance. We take the operational portion of quality control seriously. Amongst some of the measures we take are infrared moisture testing on roofing. Part of one area that makes us unique is a real-time project site webcam. The district could log in and view progress at a court meeting, for example. On that note, I'll turn it over to Dago for our quick conclusion.
Thank you, John. So why this team? First of all, the continuously giving back to the school district of Palm Beach County, the experience that we have building these type of projects. And lastly, the team that will be building this project with you and the amount of years that they have with the school district of Palm Beach County. Why not this team? Or why? Well, let's come down to this. We've been working with the school district. We've been giving back to the school district. We've done smaller projects, and we feel that it is time for us to do larger projects based on the track record we have. With that, I want to thank you, and we look forward to entertaining questions.
Thank you very much, Dago. Now I'd like to open up the floor to 20 minutes of questions and answers and start with Frank, please.
Morning, Frank.
Thank you. Good morning. Quick question. On the vibro compaction project, what is the percentage of the budget? Or roughly?
I'll pass it over to Peter. Peter.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning again. This is going to be a very small, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay. So vibro compaction is we have 3 or 4 firms that we've been working with. They have been coming in very, very competitively. Some of the projects that we priced recently for similar sized projects, that scope of work has come in way below $100,000, sometimes $70,000 to $80,000, which is a very, very small part of the project. And not only that, it can be done in a manner that you know, with a very small lag, you can have the foundation going right behind it. It's really a very precise and clean way to densify and compact very limited parts of the site underneath continuous and spread footings. And I believe that with the 3 or 4 firms we're working with, and with that competitive, we'll get it down well below the cost I just mentioned.
Just want to add something to this is that and the cost, you see the slide up here, these are actual dollars. And consequently, as you can see, you get a savings on the vibro compaction. But one key element here is the quickness, 2 months versus 3 months. And the other item that is extremely important, Frank, is the mucking. Mucking is an unknown component, and that unknown component is water. You know, when you start going down to the mucking, you can run into issues with water, and consequently with the vibro compaction, that unknown, that risk goes away. And that's why we're recommending the vibro compaction for this.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dago.
Thank you, Dago. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Glenn Armbruster, please.
Can you guys pull up your budget sheet and your student station cost?
Absolutely. So as you get, if you might remember, keep going, please up. Keep going up, keep going up, keep going up. Yeah, if you look at the state cap real quick, the state right now calls for $26,633 per student station. If you utilize the current ed spec that is in the advertised RFQ, 1,459 student station, that would give you a cap of $38,857,000. However, we all know that your budget is $33 million, and we all know that in order to achieve that budget, you're looking at about 189,000 square feet. We also know, and these are, by the way, we have a whole spreadsheet, not only how much are those schools coming out to be, but also throughout the state. We know that the average is about $225 per square feet. We did a quick analysis, Glenn, and for this project as it is right now, and we're looking at about $222 a square foot. That's probably the best number that you're going to be able to get. So obviously we know the value engineering needs to go into place in order to meet that budget. So, and we've worked with Renee or his team very closely. We know what's going on with Verdi right now, in which they're had to reprogram in order to get it within budget. And consequently, if you look at our analysis, which 800 square feet classroom reduction is common and is acceptable by DOE and it's acceptable to the school district because they've been utilizing that. And when you start reducing the circulation, that would then give you a savings of about $6,349,000. Therefore, having a building square feet of 146,000 square feet, therefore bringing you into budget. And these are actual programs that are currently being worked with the school district. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, that's what I was going to be looking for, was how you analyzed and got down to that point and everything like that. Thank you. That did.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you very much. John, please.
Yeah, I have two quick questions for Dago. Maybe you mentioned it and I missed it. What's your experience been with Harvard Jolly?
Harvard Jollies, we're fortunate. We built 21 schools with Harvard Jollies. We are currently building 7 schools with Harvard Jolly. The back picture that you see there, that's a current project that we are building with Harvard Jolly as we speak.
Thank you. And my other question, just regarding Thornton now, what's the largest project you've done with the school district as a dollar amount?
School district of Palm Beach County?
Yes.
Unfortunately, approximately $4-5 million. However, with other districts and other areas, $45 to $55 million high schools. We're building the largest high school right now at Dade County, which is about $55 billion.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Patrick, please.
Yes, I have a question for Veronica Cooper.
Yes, sir. Veronica?
Yes, I just want to mention that the subcontractor goal for this project is a minimum of 20%, not 15%. Okay. And my question to you: so on your GMP, I do want to see some new SBE vendors on your GMP. So what you will do to make this happen? Have some new blood in your GMP.
Answer that question, Patrick. So on our most recent projects, what we've done in the past is we've hosted a number of open houses. We've worked along your Office of Diversity, ensuring that firms can get certified early on if they're not already certified. We've brought in a number of other SBEs on other projects that would not have necessarily known about the opportunities to get certified. And so we have brought in new subs on GMPs in the past. Most recently, we brought in, I think, 2 or 3 on a project we're completing right now.
We committed to 20.
Yes. And our commitment is exceeding the 20%.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Aaron, please.
Good morning. Frank and Glenn's questions covered mine, so I'll take the opportunity to thank them for a good presentation.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Mark Lodge, please.
No further questions at this time. Thank you for the excellent presentation.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Any further questions from the committee for Thornton Construction this morning?
Yeah, I can do a couple more, Helen, if you don't mind.
Yes, please, John, and then we'll switch to Glenn. We have approximately 12.23 minutes left.
Okay, I think I have quick questions. On your vibro compaction proposal there, have you just, I'm not sure who the structural engineer is with Harvard Jolly, but have you discussed that with them?
Unfortunately not, because we were on the cone of silence, so we're not allowed to discuss any particulars of this project with Harvard Jolly. So unfortunately, we have not. The information that we have obtained and received has been part from the elementary school that is adjacent, and then obviously our experience, and that's what the information that you're seeing.
Did you look at the GEO report?
Yes, we looked at the GEO. That is the GEO report right here.
Yep. Okay. My other question has to do with, you mentioned your experience has been when you bid projects out, you've been getting 5 bidders per trade. Is that true in the current environment?
Actually, it is. In fact, we just finished obtaining bids, I guess 3 days ago on a school down south. And the participation has been great. Actually, it's been varied between 6-7 trades. The only one trade that is suffering a little bit is on the shell. But right now, this being a tilt, and when I'm saying suffering, usually, you'll get 4 or 5. This being tilt, you definitely will beat that with no hesitation. And we've been meeting that on the MEP. Just to give you an idea, we've been getting 8 and 9. Firms participating. So definitely there is a lot of interest, especially on larger projects or grown-up project. Reason being is because a lot of the other districts are doing renovations. And needless to say, a lot of firms like building grown up.
All right, good answer. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Glenn, please.
Dago, George had gone through this schedule, and I was actually intrigued on the 16-month schedule. Can you guys expand on that just a little bit?
Sure. I'll have, if it's okay with you, Glenn, I'll have George and Peter. Peter, can you take on this question, please?
That's fine.
So, hi, Glenn.
Hey.
So George and I have actually built 3 middle schools together. So, I mean, we went back and looked at the schools that we built, and it's the similarities with and of course, a couple of them with directly with Renee. They're very similar tilt-up jobs. We've done quite a few of these. So really, it's just an experience of having done this repetitively many times.
And the square footage involved?
The square footage is, it's about similar to these other schools. It's a very predictable type of structure to put up. Especially if we are involved early with the key submittals that I need to be focusing on. There's 2 main submittals, which would be obviously the early release of the tilt design panel, and the second would be the type of a floor and roof system that we've chosen. And those are the 2 main things that we got to get ahead of the curve. And we have ideas on 2 different ways to address that when we finally can meet with Renee and your team.
Let me add something, if I could. So Glenn, let me add something. The key to any school project, and that comes from our experience, is building the central energy plan at the same time that you're building the head-in system. In other words, the administration. You want to have, obviously, your central energy plan going up basically at the same time. And that's what we're doing. That is the key. Why? Because that is the brains. That is when you have all the fire alarms, you have all your EMS systems, you have obviously all your mechanical electrical systems happening in this building. That is the key of building and making sure that this project could be built in 16 months. And quite frankly, if you look at the square footage, obviously by reducing it, you're looking at about 145,000 square feet, give and take 147,000 square feet. Elementary schools, they're about 110, 120,000 square feet. Those are being built in 12 months. If you look at our middle school, 215,000 square feet. JFK, for example, you and us build that together. LC Swing, those are 215,000 square feet, and those were built in roughly 14, 15 months. So this project at 145,000 square feet definitely could be built in 16 months. Dare say it could probably be built in 15 months, but right now we'll say 16 months. One key element here that you have to take into account, the amount of time that we are providing for move-in. 4 months for move-in. That's something that is unheard of on a project. We're able to accomplish that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further questions, please, from the committee? Thank you. Dago, any last minute things you would like to say to the committee?
If I may piggyback on something that John said. So you have 3 companies here, large companies here that are capable of building pretty much anything. However, what we have done, we knew that we had to pay our dues. And we went ahead and built small projects for you all, $3, $4, $5 million projects. Why? Because we wanted to show you what we could do. We believe that we have demonstrated that because we deliver these projects ahead of schedule, all of them, and below the budget. We have the resources, the capabilities, and the experience to build this project. We are looking for the opportunity, and this is a great opportunity to allow us to build this for you. The companies that you have or will be seeing today or have interviewed have built large projects for you all. It's time for a change, and we ask you for that opportunity. We have the resources, we have the capabilities, like I said before, and the experience. Look at the team experience that you have here. It's unbelievable to build this facility for you. I think if I could allow for Dave and Veronica to say a few words, that would be real quick.
Thanks, Dago, and thanks for your time. You know, we talked about earlier that we're based here. We're founded here in 2005. We've done projects for the district that are $500,000. Our largest project to date is $5 million. We're currently building a $300 million mixed-use, extremely complex project. We can handle this project. John, you asked earlier about experience with Harvard Jolly. The two high school cafeteria renovations were with Harvard Jolly, and we're currently building the Loggerhead Marine Life Center, a $20 million project with Renee and his team. Extremely complex project to make sure that these turtles are maintained, surgery, lessons, classes. So we're ready for this project. We've been a partner with the district. We want to continue that partnership. Veronica?
Thank you, Dave, and thank you, Dago. And thank you for this opportunity to present before you today. We're excited at Cooper Construction to work alongside our past partners with Thornton Construction and Cass Construction. This is a great opportunity for our firm to grow under the current SBE program at the district. We've had great opportunities with you, and we look forward to the opportunity to grow with you some more. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Helen. Appreciate it for that time. And look forward to building this project for you all.
Thank you, Dago, very much. Thank you very much. To all the Thornton Construction team members, it's time to disconnect from the Google Meet and join via one of the public options if desired. At this time, we'll take a 5-minute recess to allow the next firm, Moss & Associates, to enter the meeting. Thank you very much. Please. Good morning. It's now 10:35 a.m. My name is Helen Stokes. I'm a construction purchasing agent for the School District of Palm Beach County, and I am assisted by our document analyst, Patricia Morone. We will continue our selection committee, which is being held virtually via Google Meet technology, is being broadcast live and recorded. The purpose of today's meeting is to select the top ranking proposer to be awarded a construction management at risk contract for Sunset Palms Middle School PP. We have our committee members and presenting firms joining via Google Meet and our public attending the various methods available on the district's public information website. Should we encounter technical difficulties at any time during our meeting, we will need to recess until those issues are resolved. Committee members and presenting firms, please do not leave the Google Meet. Virtual meeting reminders. A few reminders of proper virtual meeting etiquette before we begin. Please keep your microphones muted when not speaking and be mindful of background noises. Remember, you and your background are visible. Video, voice, and chat comments are being recorded. Let us begin by introducing our committee members. Frank.
Good morning. My name is Frank Aracivia. I'm a facility coordinator, Palm Beach County School District.
Thank you. Glenn, please.
Hey, this is Glenn Armbruster, Facilities Construction Senior Project Administrator.
Thank you. John, please.
Hello, I'm John Cheshire. I'm the court representative on the committee.
Thank you. Patrick, please.
Good morning, Patrick Chrysostom, Office of Diversity and Business Practices.
Thank you. Aaron, please.
Good morning, Aaron Howard, Facilities Construction, SPA.
Thank you. Mark.
Good morning, Mark Lodge, Building Code Services, Mechanical Engineer.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to announce we have a quorum of members present. Next, we'll record attendance of our third firm presenting this morning, Moss & Associates. Please identify yourself by your full name beginning with Matt Mahoney.
This is Matt Mahoney.
Thank you.
Wayne Messam.
Thank you.
Wayne Messam, Messam Construction.
Thank you.
Phil Hines, Moss.
Thank you.
Ed Taylor, Moss.
Thank you.
Richard Smolich, Moss.
Thank you.
Denise Lewis, Moss.
Thank you.
Wayne Messam, Messam Construction.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you. Instructions to our committee. Committee members, should you have a question for a proposer, please direct your question to the appropriate team member by name before posing the question. Instructions to proposers. You'll have 20 minutes for your presentation. I'll let you know when you're down to your last 2 minutes. You'll see me appear and I'll give you the 2-minute sign as well as you'll hear the timer. At that time, you'll complete your presentation after that 2 minutes. Then we'll open up the floor to 20 minutes of questions and answers. I'll begin with Frank and work my way through the committee alphabetically. If a committee member has a question for you, they will direct it to one of your team members. Please make your answer to their question brief to allow committee members an opportunity to ask more than one question as time permits. Also, please remember, this is not a marketing opportunity for your company. Please state your name before replying to the question. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, we don't.
Okay, thank you very much. You may begin. Matt, you may begin.
Yeah, I think we're trying to get, is the presentation up?
No, sir.
Katie is bringing it up right now. Can you guys, everything good on y'all's end?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Perfect.
Good morning. I'm Matt Mahoney, Project Executive with Moss & Associates, and we're happy to be here this morning presenting on Sense Up Palms Middle School. A little bit about Moss. We're a family-owned national construction management company with our headquarters here in South Florida. We've completed over $1.1 billion worth of work in Palm Beach County alone, and we understand that marketplace very well. One of the things we're very proud of is our 79% repeat client base, which is something that speaks highly of the quality of work that we do. A little bit about me. I've lived and worked in Palm Beach County for the last 32 years, and I've had the opportunity to work on 10 school district projects over those years. And Bill Hines, our general superintendent, spent his entire career here in South Florida as well, was born and raised in South Florida, and has 11 school district of Palm Beach County projects. The Moss Messam team is really the most qualified and experienced team that you'll see here today. All of our team members have worked together and are currently working on completing the Verde K-8 project, and we also have a history of working with Harvard Jolly. Bill and I have had the opportunity to work together for the last 20 years, and over the last 6 years, Bill, Ed, and I have worked on a number of different projects, including the Verde K-8, which we just TCO'd about a week and a half ago. When you're looking at selecting the right team, it's really the first step in a successful project. And this is the team that has just successfully completed the Verde K-8 with the Moss, Messam, and Harvard Jolly team that was completed 2 weeks ahead of schedule and under budget. Some of the key issues that we're going to talk about in our presentation today are really working on an occupied campus related to security. Communication is going to be key as well throughout the entire construction process. Having understanding of the community around us and how that impacts the construction will impact them or not impact them in this particular instance. And then also looking about traffic and especially budget, making sure that the budgets meet the school district requirements and also hit those student station costs, which is so critically important. And Rich is going to tell you how we've been so successful at that recently.
Good morning. My name is Richard Smolich, Senior Pre-Construction Manager at Moss. I take you through our estimating process. These are 6 projects that were recently completed by Moss that are educational facilities, all on time, under budget. 3 schools that are relevant to this project are the Harmony Middle School for Osceola County and Verde, which we just finished with Messam and Harvard Jolly. Addison Meisner, which we just GMP'd, all came with student station costs. So establishing our control budget. We'll work early with the designer, doing program square footage and system analysis of different types of systems that will be used in the program. One of the recent examples was Verde Elementary. We did a comparison of steel versus concrete. Found that concrete was more efficient on Verde. For Addison Meisner, we did the same study, and pricing steel had been dropping at the time, so it became a steel structure. We saved the school district approximately $340,000 changing that to steel. Cost control throughout the design. We'll start early working with the architect in the early phases as the drawings evolve, and bringing in subcontractors for input constantly, making sure that we're pricing what the architect's drawing, and also helping in the design process, making sure that it's not being over-designed so that we can meet the budget. Our in-house estimating department is, we have 18 people, one of the largest in South Florida, and some of the most talented people also that'll be working on this project. Also on Addison Meisner, we utilized Messam during pre-construction. They had a new person that had not done any kind of pre-construction, and we brought them in part of our mentorship program with them. And that was very useful for him because he had never done that before. So establishing our GMP, We go through our subcontractor pre-qualification process, which is very rigorous, and SBE outreach, which we've exceeded goals on every project. We'll start setting up scope sheets and doing extensive scope with the subcontractors. Our subcontractors are vital, our lifeblood, right? So we've put $1 billion worth of work in place last year, and that could not be done without our subcontractors. We've been very successful in receiving 3 bids or more on all major trades, and that's a testament to our subcontractor base and them wanting to work for us. Because we go through this rigorous process of utilizing great subcontractors and doing detailed scope and making sure that they're bidding what we want them to bid, the GMP approval for Addison Mizner was 34 days. So when we opened up those bids, those sealed bids were ready to go. We didn't have to go through scope anymore. Pricing was there, and we just had to put that number down and get to our GMP, which was remarkably quick. For this project, the stated square footage was approximately 165 to 175,000. And based on student station costs, we feel that that square footage might be high. We think that that square footage probably will have to get cut back down to or massaged to 150,000 square feet to get to the construction budget of $33 million. This is not unusual. We just went through this same exercise with Harvard Jolly on Verde and Addison Mizner also, doing some different tweaking of the building, but not cutting program and making sure that everything the school district wants is still in that price. Thank you. Matt?
Thank you, Rich. SBE participation is really of high importance to us as well as you, the school district, and we have a history of not only meeting but exceeding these goals. If you look at the modernization of Verde as well as the holding school in Addison Mizner, we've been able to exceed those goals, and Wayne is going to explain how we've been able to accomplish that.
Thank you, Matt. I'm Wayne Messam, partner CPA sub-consultant with Moss Construction and qualifier for the firm. We realize that it's our job to communicate to SBE all of the opportunities for this project. And as you saw the results on your most recent projects, we significantly exceeded the goal. Messam Construction is not only a product of the SBE program, but we are an advocate. So we realize that early engagement is crucial for our team's success. We work with the pre-qualification process to get the subs pre-qualified, is working hand in hand with the Office of Supplier Diversity. We also provide SBE support. We ensure that we right-size bid packages, we provide alternative bond options, as well as looking out into the local labor marketplace to educate and inform about opportunities. But where the rubber really hits the road is the community outreach. We'll work with, continue to work with trade associations, and in this post-COVID-19 scenario, we will use virtual meetings to do pre-bid meetings to announce what these opportunities are. Moss and Messam, we're not a first-time gig. We actually have been working for over a decade. The Moss and Messam partnership has facilitated development with our relationship and Messam personally. We are now also priming our own projects, and our team members, Akash and Ryan, will work hand in hand as we did in Verde and if selected on this project. So the Messam experience working with the school district currently on Verde as well as Addison Mizner makes this a great relationship and ensures that we reach the goals of the school district.
Thank you, Wayne. My name is Bill Hines. I'll be the superintendent of this project, and I'll talk a little bit about how we plan on putting this thing together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be a good neighbor. We're going to control our dust. We're going to set up all the proper measures for, environmental control, drainage. We're going to do vibratory monitoring as well as, comply with the noise ordinance in the city. We're going to set up a double fence to create a buffer zone between us and your existing campus. We also did a study on your traffic. We know where your crossing guards are, traffic lights, existing fire hydrants. We're going to watch out for these areas. We know that your students get dropped off about 7:25 in the morning. The first class is 8 a.m. We open our gates around 6 a.m. All of our guys are in working by 7 a.m. so we don't feel we'll impede with your traffic getting into the school. There's a couple new projects starting right around your campus. We have Canyon Branch Library that starts in spring of 2021, as well as Canyon District Park, which starts next month. So depending on the time frame of this job and your job, we'll make sure we coordinate with other contractors and make sure there's no large deliveries happening at the same time on both projects. So we know you have two options on the table here. You have option A and option B. The rest of our presentation will be based off of option B. We've done some studies and some logistic plans for both options. Here's option B. We've also reached out to FPL and found out that the existing transformer, the overhead line is a 50 kVA transformer. We'll feed all of our temporary power off that for our trailers, as well as we see where the underground line is feeding your existing campus. We're very careful not to harm them lines. We know where they're at. We're gonna watch out for them. We've also looked into existing water and sewer as well as drainage elevations. We know there's an existing 12-inch water main running through your campus that belongs to the city of Palm Beach County. We know the designers are trying to work the buildings around that. If that doesn't happen, we'll be ready to move that water line out of our way during the site prep. As well as there's existing sanitary line running down the west side of the site that feeds your existing campus as well. So we're going to be very careful for that not to get damaged during our construction. I'm going to take it to an animation here. So the first thing we hit the site, we're going to get our perimeter fencing in, silt fencing, vision block, dust control all set up, get all the environmental control in place. Get right in there, clear it, get the building pads going, start the vibro compaction, and get foundations and casting slabs going, get some concrete pouring out there. We'll start getting the tilt panels erected on the classroom building first, working our way over to the media center. While the tilt panel contractors in the media center, we'll be setting the second floor and roof and working our way around systematically, creating some rhythm around the job site. Once we're topping out the gymnasium administration building, getting them put together, we will be in the other buildings that are interior build outs, drywall, ceilings, getting all the inspections going, as well as, getting the envelope windows, doors, everything put in, getting these jobs, these buildings wrapped up. Also out on the site, we'll be out there doing our water drainage, civil work, getting the high vac chill water system in place, rolling right into parking lot landscaping, getting all the ball courts and tennis courts wrapped up. And this is, your completed project in approximately 15 months. We're going to do a little flyby here so you can look at the building. It's a beautiful building. We're excited to build it for you, and we're ready to go. And Matt's going to talk a little bit about the schedule.
Thank you, Bill. Having worked with the school district for so many years, we understand the importance of the school schedule, whether it be testing or days off or holidays. And then we've also had a chance to look at the construction schedule that was identified in the RFP, which basically shows about a 1-year design period from this September through permitting and next September, with construction starting in January of 2022 and completion in June of 2023, which is about a 17-month construction schedule, which is more than ample. We certainly believe that we'll be able to complete that in 14 to 15 months at most. We've also looked at the possibility of an accelerated schedule. Instead of completing in 2023, completing the school in 2022. We've just done a very similar schedule on the Verde Cave with Harvard Jolly. We know that it can be done. We look at about a design period to be completed by this December, doing a phase 1 GMP, which would get us started with site work early, like Bill had mentioned, with vibro compaction, site clearing and filling to get the site up to grade, and then construction really starting from June of 2021 and completing in July of 2022.
Thank you, Matt. So this is Verde Elementary School. We just finished up with Harvard Jolly, Verde Cave, and proves into putting 13 months from demolition to TCO. It was 2 months of demolition and some site prep, 11 months to put the buildings up and get TCO. So we had to move these things along. We have no problem getting this done for you. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about safety now. So Jessica lunch rats are very important to us. We've worked on a lot of occupied campuses. We know how to do it. We're very good at it. And we will enforce the badges, and everyone will wear one, or they will not enter our site. I take safety very personal on my job sites. We run a safe, clean, professional job site. You're never going to walk on my job and see trash laying around. It's very neat and orderly. We have a safety area set up outside of our trailer where the guys can get safety training done, and stay spaced apart for COVID. And, we have numerous safety awards. We plan ahead. We know how to run a nice, clean, neat job. We have zero tolerance for safety with hard hat, safety glasses, masks, high-vis vests, as well as all the other PPE required to get your job done correctly. We're committed to safety. Our number one goal is getting people back to their most important jobs, which is their families. Thank you. Ed Taylor is coming up now.
Good morning. I'm Ed Taylor, Moss Project Manager. I want to talk to you a little bit more about some of our core values, and one of those is entrepreneurial spirit, which means innovating to overcome challenges and taking advantage of opportunities. So Triva is a technology that we developed in-house at Moss, which utilizes a small piece of hardware that goes on hard hat. and senses the location of each worker on site. This can be set up for a geofence so that we can monitor restricted areas such as the occupied campus, and if anybody does cross into that area, we're notified immediately. Treba is also adaptable. During these times with COVID-19, we can set up Treba for contact tracing and send out mass notifications in the event that somebody does contract COVID on our project. Moss is committed to finishing a project on time and on budget, and whatever comes at us, we will adapt. And on the Verde project, Matt, Bill, and I developed a plan with 14 controlled safety zones so that we could control the number of workers, a maximum of 15 in each area, and we were able to maintain our schedule and experience no project delays and no impact to our cost. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we're going to manage Sunset Palms. One of the key components of any project is communication, and we understand the importance of communicating with our client, the School District of Palm Beach County, and also the adjacent occupied elementary school. We understand the standard operating procedures, and we're prepared to provide regular updates to the PTA and also to the elementary school so that everybody is in tune with what's happening on the project. In addition to that, we understand the impact of associations such as Cobra and the surrounding community. We plan to monitor the Nextdoor app so that we are constantly in tune with what is happening in the community so that we can mitigate the impact of our project on the surrounding community during the construction process. Some of the tools that we use at our company that make us so successful is our ERP platform, CMIC, which is used all the way from pre-construction through project completion. Bluebeam is a powerful tool that we use to mark up drawings, create exhibits and sketches so that we can collaborate and communicate efficiently with the architect and the owner. Additionally, Oracle Primavera P6 is a powerful scheduling tool that allows us to build detailed schedules for challenging and fast-paced projects. My personal favorite is PlanGrid, which we use in the field. It allows us to always have the latest information at the push of a button. Our quality assurance process at Moss starts early and goes well on beyond project completion. We have a fully dedicated in-house quality control and quality assurance department at Moss that will be involved long after the construction team leaves the project. On the job site level, one of the most powerful tools that we have is our VDC coordination process and our BIM coordination process. This allows us to take trade models, merge them together into a merged model, and identify clashes and conflicts well in advance so that we can work in concert with the architect and the owner to preserve the design intent and minimize schedule and cost impact of the project. Even though our VDC process eliminates over 90% of the conflicts on a project, there's still a lot of value in touching and feeling some of the key components of the project, such as the media cabinet and the teaching wall in the classrooms. On the left, you can see the representation of the media cabinet electrical rough-in that we had on the Verde project. In the middle photo is the actual mock-up that we built in the classroom, or in our trailer rather, which we reviewed and worked on with Harvard Jolly, JLRD, and the School District of Palm Beach County. And on the right is the finished project, which occurred in every single classroom on the campus. I'm going to pass it to Denise.
My name is Denise Lewis, Senior Project Accountant at Moss. In my experience, we're working with the School District of Palm Beach County. We have a deep understanding of the requisition process and the direct owner purchases. For example, on the Verde project we just completed alongside Harvard Jolly, we made the district over $350,000. We also have an understanding of the B2G system, which allows the school district to now capture second-tier SBE vendors. There's no learning curve. And we'll hit the ground running to complete Sunset Palms. Bill?
Thank you, Denise. So again, part of our record keeping system and reporting system is, our inspection process. So, from the time we send inspection requests in, we get back our inspection numbers. We'll highlight what forms highlighted the night before, have them sit on the table for the inspectors. So when they get to the job site, then they're ready to go. Inspection plans are out there, forms are all filled out, ready to go. So when the inspection goes through, everything goes in a box. So we keep track of everything, as well as if there's any comments, the comments get hung up on the wall. So when the electrical plumber guy walks in the office, they can tell if they have any outstanding inspections or not. And we track all the inspections as well to keep everything nice and neat, so we're able to close the job up quickly. Matt?
Thanks, Bill. Why Moss? We just spent the last 19 minutes going through the reasons why it should be the Moss Messon and Harbor Jolly team again. And, we're committed to the school district. I've had the opportunity to work with the district for the last 19 years on some very successful projects. And these types of projects are somewhat the most rewarding because you can see the faces of the students and the staff and the teachers when they start a new school year in a brand new school that you've completed. We're requesting that you award the Moss Messon team this project, the Sunset Palms project, and we look forward to another successful and enjoyable journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Talk about right down to the wire. Thank you.
Just a little early, Helen. A little early. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Thank you. Now I'd like to open up the floor to 20 minutes of questions and answers. Please, I'd like to start with Frank.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you. Nice presentation. Quick question. This is for the mechanical side. Have you guys taken any provision on adding, everybody's talking about COVID, better filtration for the air conditioning units, specifically MERV filters and how do you call those lights, those that sanitize the air?
UV lights?
Correct.
The UV lights?
Correct, yes.
I think the school district is currently has a MERV 13 filtration system that's required as a requirement of the mechanical, and that goes back to some of the green building technologies that was incorporated years ago. I know that there's some discussions and there's a lot of things that can be done from a mechanical standpoint, and I know that there's some discussions being had right now on some other schools with the building department related to alternate mechanical systems that could potentially address a little bit more of the concerns related to COVID and indoor air quality.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Glenn, please.
Hey, Matt, how you doing? Can you guys bring up your schedule? That's one of the questions I want to look at. I like the 14 to 15 month schedule that you guys had, but just kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
The accelerated schedule, Glenn?
Yes, actually, the accelerated would bring you in almost 6 months earlier, right?
Well, this is showing a completion for a school year of August of 2022. So it's really a full school year earlier because the schedule that was identified in the RFP shows an opening in substantial completion in June of 2023.
Okay. So can you just go through this schedule, this accelerated schedule a little bit to kind of show us where you're saving the time?
Sure. All right. So in this particular schedule, instead of having almost a year period of time to be able to do the design and do the permitting, we're looking at a more accelerated design schedule, which puts a little bit of pressure on Harbor Jolly, but having worked with them and just completed Verde in a very similar time schedule from a design standpoint, we know that can be done. It's a very similar size school in configuration, and we're showing a design period from now, basically through December. And then in December, the drawings would be permitted. We'd be looking at a two-phase of GMP. One would be to do the site prep, get the site, come in and do the vibro that's going to be required for the site, and then also get the site filled and get all of that prep work completed and done so that we're able to start construction, site development in March of, 2021 so that, we can do about 2 months worth of that. And then we're looking at about a 12-month to 13-month construction schedule, which would have it complete for the school year of 2022. Now, when you look at that, when you reduce the time, we're going to end up, a lot of times you think accelerated schedule, you're going to spend more money for that. But in this particular instance, we believe that there's some potential cost savings. And the other thing about this, Glenn, is that, right now we're seeing a little bit of a softening in some of the construction pricing in the industry right now, but we're starting starting to see a little trending going back up. And, you know, this is only projecting out about another year to year and a half of construction cost. And if you go with the 2023, it could be, you know, over 2 years, and nobody really knows what's going to happen during that time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. John, please.
Yeah, could you remind me what the cost of Verde was again, Matt?
Verde was $30,582,000.
Okay. And vibro compaction, you seem pretty confident that that's the foundation method. Can you explain that a little bit?
John, what we've seen on Verde as well as Addison Meisner, based upon the structural loads that are coming out from the structural engineer, there's been some type of soil improvement that's been required. We had to do vibro at Verde as well as at Addison Meisner. And based upon, you know, the way the soil conditions are here in the south part of the county, it's very similar. It's a sandy type soil condition, which is going to need some type of compaction. And, you know, the geotech that we had on Verde as well as Addison, you just couldn't get that with standard compaction, or you would have to really do an over excavation of a considerable amount of fill material and then bring that back up in compacted layers. So the most economical way to be able to achieve, you know, typically it's about a 6,000 square foot PSF bearing capacity for the foundations is to use the vibro. And on both Addison and Verde, it's a fairly small price to pay. I think we just completed Addison, and it was about a $60,000 number for them to come in, and it's a fairly quick process, about a 2-week process on a square footage similar to what Sunset Palms would be.
All right, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you very much. Patrick, please.
Yes, good morning again.
Good morning.
I know you guys, you are committed to exceed the SBE goal on this project. So, but I do want to see new SBE on your GMP. So what you guys will do to bring new SBE on board?
I'm going to let Wayne kind of step in and kind of have him explain what our strategy is to engage new SBEs, Patrick.
Yes, Patrick, that's an excellent question, Patrick. Our team has never relied on just the school district's directory of existing firms. On our previous project at Verde, as well as the Messam projects with the school district, we have introduced, as you know, new SBE firms. There are a lot of firms in the county that actually qualify and would be able to certify. So we introduced them to the school district. We work with yourself and Heidi and Vicki to be able to get them all of the information so that they can apply. And that's the same thing that we do in our early outreach phase of pre-construction to ensure that not only are they familiar with the project, but we also get them familiar with your certification requirements so that they can hit the ground running to be very active participants in the bid process. And that is what attributes to the success that we've had with Verde hitting 43% SBE participation, and with the upcoming Addison Meisner project projected at 33%. So we really take pride in being able to make sure that the community actually has an opportunity to be a part of this wonderful project. And we look forward to doing this as well with this project too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron, please.
Good morning. No, I don't have any further questions. Thank you for explaining the correlation with the budget and the accelerated schedule.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Mark Lodge, please.
No further questions. I'd just like to thank the Moss and Messam team for an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions from the committee? Frank, anything? No. No, sir. Glenn, please.
Of course, you know I'm going to have another question. Matt, can you guys pull up your cost, your budget, and go through the cost for student station?
Sure. Katie's pulling it up right now. So when we look at budgets and cost per student station, you know, the DOE prescribes a certain cost per student station, which on this middle school project, it's $26,633 per student. Now, if you multiply that by the 1,459 student stations, you come up with a number much larger than 33 million, but there's a factor that you have to reduce that by for costs that aren't included in construction. So when we look at it, when we look at the $33 million budget, we'll, you know, that based upon, you know, a consolidated square footage, having done this on Verde and Addison, we know what needs to be done with that. And by doing that, establishing and achieving that $33 million budget or just below that, we know that we'll fall within the student station cost that, you know, that varied number than what's prescribed by the state. And there's a lot of factors that go into it as far as extraordinary cost outside, you know, 5 feet outside the building, hardening costs, security costs. So there's quite a bit involved with going through the student station cost component.
Okay.
Thank you.
John, question?
No, good. I'm good, Helen. Thank you. Good presentation.
Okay. Any further questions from the committee? Matt, anything you'd like to say before we conclude?
You know, just thank you guys again for the opportunity, and you know, we look forward to, you know, working with the school district and Harvard Jolly on another successful project, Sunset Palms. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you, guys.
We now ask all team members to disconnect from the Google Meet and join via one of the public options if desired. For my committee members, is there anything additional you'd like to say before we commence for the scoring? Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, I know that on two of these companies, I'm actually currently working with Edric on the adult ed and Moss on Verde. And I've had great experience with them, both of them, on both of these schools. We've run into problems on both of them that we've actually, both CMs have turned around and, you know, dealt with, and we're able to overcome those challenges. I have not worked with Thornton at all. They did do some of our media centers, the new Learning Commons on the high schools. And CAST has been a really good CM partner for us on a lot of the FCA schools. I did like the fact that they actually have 3 high quality CMs with them. Basically, that's Thornton, Cooper, and CAST together. I think there's a lot of added value there. But all the presentations were good. The only other thing I was looking at on, you know, for Moss, I mean, Moss has gotten, they're finishing up Verde now. They're going right into Addison Meisner. This project would be right after Addison Meisner, but they also have O5C. And I'm not sure, I didn't look at what their personnel was for O5C, because I thought it was the same people, but it might not be, because O5C just came back online not too long ago, and this might have already been in. So that's all I had to say.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. John, anything further?
Well, I can go over the firms if you like real quick. They were all great presentations. I was just blown away. Starting with Hedrick, I like that they're a local firm and that they made 38% SBE. That's 20 projects. I think that's great. They mentioned their subcontractor bond program was a good thing. With Jack on the project, I have full confidence in Jack's ability. I've worked with him in the past a lot, and he is the best. I like the fact that they had that internal road for stacking, get the traffic off of the connector road. The rolling punch list that Hedrick does. I've had personal experience with that, and it works. They have a very little punch list at the job. They could have used a little bit more on the scheduling, but it was pretty good, I guess. And their impact on the community, they covered that very well. With Thornton, the 3 CMs, I know Glenn liked that, but it bothers me a little bit about, who's going to be really running the show. And I know they said they have a better sub pool and they could have buying power, but I'm not quite sure I'm buying that. And I thought their budget presentation was a little bit confusing. I'm glad they went over it again there at the end. And the logistic plan, at the beginning it was confusing, but I finally figured out what they were doing with traffic. I thought the superintendent, George, I thought he did a great presentation, and their good neighbor plan I thought was the best of all the firms. They covered safety, security, cost control, and the reporting systems. So overall, that was a pretty good presentation. And with Moss, I like the fact that it's the same team as Verde, the $30 million project with Harvard Jolly. Matt and Bill, the superintendent, both have lots of experience with the school district, which is a very positive thing. They covered everything in the evaluation that we were looking at: cost control, safety, how they estimated the GMP. I was impressed that they got a 34-day turnaround on the GMP on Verde. I thought their COVID-19 plan was good, better than some of the others, or at least they expounded on their plan. And their QA mock-up, I really like that part of their presentation. Their SBE, it was a very good presentation. They have a good history and it exceeded the goal in the past. Their good neighbor presentation also is very good. They mentioned Cobra, and they also mentioned the other nearby projects that the other 2 firms didn't mention. I'm not quite sure I like the fact that they had a gate on Acme Dairy, but that can be tweaked. And the accelerated schedule, that's very interesting. However, but when they're pressed for details, it's by shortening the design time. So we'll see how that works out. And their presentation about how they do the inspection process, I thought that was very good. It was a very good presentation.
Okay. Thank you, John, very much. Patrick, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think, they all 3 can do a great job, on this project. But so I can echo Glenn, so I don't know about Moss, and then so I know they are on Verde, and Verde almost done, and then they have Addison Meisner and the OC a contract, but I don't know about the staff. They have enough staff to the same staff that will do this project. But so as with the school district, we need to split the work. We cannot give only one a company a job over and over. So this is my concern.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Aaron Howard.
I've had experience working with Thornton in the past, with Angel Garcia on both Del Prado and Lighthouse. These weren't new school builds, but they were FCA, and they handled everything quite well. I don't think we had an issue that came up that they weren't able to solve or figure out within a 24-hour period. So I can speak to them on that. Hedrick Brothers, I worked with in Martin County in past years, and they were also good to work with. They were shortlisted on one of their projects way back. Project didn't go through, but again, I've had experience with them as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Aaron. Mark Lodge.
Yeah, I agree with the sentiments. All very good presentations. Moss, I was impressed with the level of detail down to actually contact tracing on their job site. And whenever I talk about Moss getting overloaded with Palm Beach County projects, I think about Thornton mentioned they're doing a high school in Dade County, and I suppose we don't know all those outliers and what else they're doing out there, and it's much better to have them in our county doing another project, I think, because they're, I think, one of our superstar construction firms. And that's always my fear, to overload them. But I think, there's other considerations outside our county that may trump that. You know, I think they're probably going to be fine. So very, very impressive.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any further comments that the committee have? Okay, thank you very much. This concludes the discussion of the presentations. The public comment phone line will now open via voice recorded message and will remain open 5-minute window. The public may offer comments relative to the content of the presentations. We will take a short break to compile all the messages and return live to hear those messages before the committee completes their score sheets. Thank you. Please do not leave the meeting. We will now resume the meeting at 11:35 a.m. We have had no public comments, and we will continue with our scoring. Committee members, a score sheet has been emailed to each of you via a link to Google Drive. Please open, fill in your scores, and leave your score sheet open. Once completed, Pat will let me know. Please communicate any problems that you may have completing it via the chat box. Once we receive all completed score sheets, we'll take a short break to tabulate the scores. Please do not leave the meeting and be alert to resuming, as we will not be re-announcing the scores. We'll take a short break as the score sheets come in. Please stand by.
Okay, Helen, it seems all the committee members have communicated that everyone is done with their scoring sheets. If you will go ahead and make the announcement.
Thank you. We have received all the score sheets and will now take a short break to tabulate the scores. Please stand by. It's 11:49 a.m. and we're resuming the meeting for Sunset Palms Middle School 17 PP selection. All the scores have been recorded. Committee members, please return to your Google score sheets and read me your total points and your ranking order positions as I call your name while Patton, yes, Glenn. Cannot hear you.
I have returned to my doc, and if there's no total points or ranking order on mine.
Okay, Pat, we'll go in and look at it for you.
You are correct. Give me 1 second, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Who else correct?
Would everyone else please check your score sheets at this time?
Mine is also missing total points and ranking order.
I believe that to be the case for all of them. Please give me 2 minutes.
Okay, we'll give you 2 minutes. Patrick? Okay, thank you. I just don't want to lose you.
Helen, you can go ahead and start alphabetically with Frank, please.
Thank you. Frank Arancibia, I need your total points for Hedrick Brothers.
106, 3, third.
I didn't get that.
I'm sorry. 106, that's for Hedrick, and the ranking order will be third.
Thornton Construction. I'm asking for your ranking order points, sir. I apologize. Your ranking order points, so that would be third. Am I correct?
Correct. Yes.
Third. Okay, thank you. Thornton Construction.
Second.
Second, thank you. Moss and Associates.
First.
First, thank you. Glenn Armbruster, Hedrick Brothers Construction.
Helen, before you start, my sheet's still not right. The total ranking points isn't right, and the ranking order isn't right either.
Okay, I'll let Pat take back control.
Yeah, I sent her a chat on it.
Okay, thank you.
Could you take a look at it now, please?
You got it.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Pat. Hedrick Brothers Construction.
Total points is 120.
Your ranking order points, sir.
3.
Thank you. Thornton Construction.
You want the ranking points or you want the order?
I want the total.
Okay.
Your ranking order point.
Total points, 130.
Moss and Associates. And your ranking order, please.
For Thornton is 1.
Thank you. Moss and Associates.
125 is total points. Ranking 2.
Thank you. John Cheshire, Hedrick Brothers Construction.
Total points is 130. Ranking order is 2.
Thank you. Thornton Construction.
Total points are 120. Ranking order is 3.
Thank you. Moss and Associates.
Total points is 140. Ranking order is 1.
Thank you. Patrick Christomay, Hedrick Brothers Construction.
Yes, total point is 130. Ranking number is 1.
Thank you. Thornton Construction.
130. Ranking number is 1.
Thank you. Moss and Associates.
120. Ranking number is 3rd.
Thank you. Aaron Howard, Hedrick Brothers Construction.
I've got them listed as first. I also have Pat looking at my sheet as well.
Okay. We'll hold for a moment.
Ellen, can you give me Frank's ranking numbers again?
Frank, Hedrick Brothers is 3, Thornton is 2, and Moss is 1.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Aaron, do you have your sheet back yet?
I do. All right, Hedrick Brothers was first.
1. Thornton Construction.
3rd.
3. Moss and Associates.
1.
1. Thank you. Mark Lodge, Hedrick Brothers Construction.
Hedrick Brothers, 138 points, ranked 2.
Thornton Construction.
Thornton Construction, 136 points, ranked 3rd.
Thank you. Moss and Associates.
Moss and Associates, ranked 140 points, ranked 1st.
Thank you. Now I'm going to announce the total ranking points. Hedrick Brothers with 12 total ranking points ranks 2nd. Thornton Construction Company with 13 total ranking points ranks 3rd. Moss and Associates with 9 total ranking points ranks 1st. Moss and Associates will be recommended before the board for an award. Thank you very much. We appreciate your attendance, and this concludes today's meeting.
Helen, before we go, with the Google Sheets that we have, do we need to pull those and put signatures on them?
Yes, you do. And then you need to upload them and send them back to Pat, please.
Okay.
Glenn, I addressed that in my email to you.
All right.
Thank you very much. This concludes the meeting for today. It's 12 p.m. Thank you very much.